Knife Man Neil slammed the car door shut and attempted the duck from the downpouring rain. He fumbled with his umbrella, but the spokes were jammed and it wouldn't open. He huffed, frustrated by how useless it was. In his other arm, he clutched the sample case to his chest. It was on the verge of slipping out of his grip. He couldn't let that happen. The knives inside were his best-looking ones. Perhaps he was a fool for having such nice pieces on display for customers, but to him, that landed the increasing sales. Once prospective buyers saw those gleaming knives in the case, they couldn't say no. Within steps of the shop door, a passing car sped by. Its wheels skidded through a large rain puddle at the edge of the road and sidewalk. The motion catapulted a wave of water directly onto Neil. The blast was cold, and he felt it running down his face and neck. Neil cursed under his breath. How could his day be off to such a horrid start? What had he done to deserve this? He settled into the shop and wiped off the muddy rainwater. Then took a deep breath and stared at the framed childhood photo in the corner of his desk. He felt a smile grow on his lips while he stared at it. Neil was always a mummy's boy. His mother was his best friend for as long as he could remember. Setting up the store, he waited for his first customer of the day. But minutes turned to hours, and his store remained cold and empty. He paced the floors, occasionally staring at the sample box of knives. Finally, the door chimed and startled him. He gave his usual sales pitch, but the customer left empty-handed. He wasn't the only one. Everyone who entered the shop decided against buying any of Neil's pristine knives. He grew increasingly frustrated over the rejected sales. He usually sold several per day, sometimes multiple knives per customer. But today, it was as if everyone and everything was working against him. Although Neil was confident in his product, anyone who didn't purchase one of his knives was a fool. Someone who wouldn't know a good blade otherwise. One last customer trailed in an hour before he was to close up the shop. Neil was desperate to make at least one sale for the day. Never in all his time operating the store had he left for the day without a sale. Even on his first day in business, he sold more than one knife. Since then, he had a high standard for the shop. The customer was quiet while he browsed the sample box, then stepped towards the door. "Thanks for showing me your selection," he said. Neil was caught off guard that the man wasn't making a purchase. "You're not going to purchase one?" he asked unapologetically. The man awkwardly backed towards the door of the shop. "No, not today." Neil couldn't handle the rejection. It was personal. It was profound. It was a reflection of him. Over and over again, he'd been rejected all day. He'd been stomped on by bad luck from every direction. He barked at the man, telling him to leave his store.